The hip-hop scene is going through one of its most traumatic and contentious moments in a long time right now. Renowned rappers are always putting out diss tracks directed at one another, which enrage fans and get attention. In the meantime, certain musicians are in the news due to allegations that they were involved in major crimes. Hi there and welcome back to Rumor Spill. Chris Brown and Quavo, who are embroiled in a savage argument with Diddy over what appears to be unresolved concerns arising from relationships with Karrueche Tran, are at the core of this drama that is playing out. In an effort to set the record straight, Jaguar Wright, who backs Chris Brown, has accused Jay-Z of being involved in the Rihanna occurrences. This has further compounded the issue. The beginnings of this whole dispute are, at best, unclear. It's a sight you wouldn't want to miss if you're curious to see how deep the rivalry goes or if it turns into something more severe. As demonstrated by a recent radio conversation in which Jay-Z and other participants plotted how to publicly damage a person's reputation on the red carpet so that the public would perceive him negatively for taking on a highly regarded figure, it appears that all parties are acutely aware of the stakes. These incidents appear to have permanently changed Chris Brown's life, and he seems to have done so by following Jay-Z's instructions, which were designed to hide the fact that Jay-Z had a big impact on him even as a young adolescent. While all of this is going on, the ongoing battle between Drake and Kendrick Lamar takes center stage. However, the conflict between Chris Brown and Quavo is an important side story that puts Chris's aggressive behavior in perspective as he gets closer to being 30 years old. We have to go back to 2010, the year Chris Brown and Karrueche Tran started their sporadic relationship, which lasted until March 2015 in order to comprehend the origins of their enmity. Chris's relationship with Rihanna was temporarily rekindled around this time, which added complexity to his personal life. After Quavo and Tran were spotted together several times in April 2017, there were speculations that they were more than just buddies. TMZ was the first to report on these rumors. As a result, rumors and regular sightings fostered conjecture within their fan base. The matter was made worse when, according to a later TMZ article, Chris Brown felt deceived and saw Quavo's friendship with his ex-girlfriend as a grave betrayal. This discovery was especially upsetting because their relationship extended beyond simple business cooperation. They had previously collaborated on songs and supported each other's endeavors, such as Migos' album Culture, released in 2017. Before their breakup became public, Brown showed sincere love and respect for every member of Migos in a 2017 Billboard interview, referring to them as brothers and close friends. Though he openly endorsed their work, there were simmering underlying difficulties. When Karrueche filed for a restraining order against Brown, citing threats and violent past incidents that coincided with her alleged relationship with Quavo, the situation intensified. Since the restraining order was put in place, Brown and Quavo have publicly shown their contempt for one another, presumably because it was difficult for them to keep up any sort of friendly connection. When Brown's 11/11 deluxe album Song Freak was released, their rivalry was reignited as they traded insults in the song's lyrics. In response, Quavo released his own song, Weakest Link, in which he called Brown out as the weakest member of his group and addressed his background directly. A string of direct and visible musical conflicts between the two began with this interaction. Amidst these interpersonal and professional disputes, the wider hip-hop world is also dealing with sad news, including Takeoff's passing, which ended Migos' run as a trio in November 2022. The trio had previously had a great run, putting out several albums and having a big impact on hip-hop culture. Fans and onlookers alike are left wondering how the rivalries and relationships within the hip-hop scene will change when these events take place. See Wasteface. Wasteface. The encounters between these well-known artists at public events, including fashion weeks and music releases, keep people guessing and interested in the constant conflicts between them. I could feel my fury rising, and all I could think of was how ridiculous the whole thing had gotten. I saw his restraint at the Fashion Week event, even though he was itching to mess things up. Regretfully, I was seated at the function just beside you. I was annoyed, but I chose to ignore it, blaming it on pure serendipity on your side. I didn't want to risk the money that was at stake. Believe me, I would have made sure you knew the bodily repercussions of your conduct if it weren't for that. Chris Brown also mentioned the terrible event of Takeoff's death on November 1, 2022. Outside of a private party at a bowling alley in Houston, Texas, the artist was shot and killed. Chris said Takeoff was the only person in the profession he really admired before he left. He continued by saying that it would have been preferable for everyone if Quavo had died instead. One especially scathing sentence that suggested we temporarily ignore the existing feuds stood out among the song's lyrics. Not only is Chris Brown upset with Quavo, but Jay-Z has also been under fire since Chris made some shocking revelations a few years ago. Rumors have been going around regarding this. Chris has escalated his charges against Jay-Z, alleging that the rapper has deliberately attempted to harm the careers of other musicians, even organizing a campaign of blackballing. Chris talked about the controversial 2009 incident with Rihanna from a different perspective, implying that there was more to the tale than was previously known. Chris claimed that Rihanna's alleged adultery with Jay-Z and an even more frightening allegation that she had gotten a sexually transmitted infection from Jay-Z were the main causes of their issues. Prepare yourself if you felt that discovery was shocking. Chris has alluded to even more dark and scandalous rumors about Jay-Z and Rihanna's romance. In an attempt to dispel rumors and correct misconceptions regarding the 2009 incident, Chris is reiterating the stories that have molded his public persona over the previous 15 years. Chris claims that Jay-Z set him up for the Rihanna incident and took advantage of the opportunity to hurt his career. You probably remember how things got out of hand when Chris and Rihanna got into a heated vehicle fight the night before the 2009 Grammy Awards. Chris was arrested and given a 5-year probationary term along with a year of community service, while Rihanna suffered serious injuries from the altercation. This issue has come up time and time again in conversations regarding their careers since then. Chris has frequently asserted that Rihanna found out about Chris's infidelity before the fight started. He says that things got heated when Rihanna questioned him over a text message that was on his phone. He tried to persuade her that he was faithful, but the debate turned violent. Chris acknowledges that things went out of control and that his violent reaction was a result of shock and regret. As they drove, the confrontation went on and the situation quickly got worse. Chris uses his phone to recount a wild scenario that occurred during a heated argument within the Lamborghini's cramped interior. Both parties started acting out physically as the dispute got more heated. During an interview, Rihanna characterized their relationship as extremely poisonous, claiming that their growing emotional bond just made their exchanges more tense. She was open about the psychological and physical wounds this caused her to bear. Chris has attempted to change the tale about what happened that night throughout the years, implying there was more to it than what was publicized. His annoyance recently emerged again when Chloe Bailey received criticism for working with him. Chris responded angrily to individuals who continued to attack him for his youthful actions on social media, expressing his frustration with them. Chris also made note of what he saw as hypocrisy in the entertainment business, specifically pointing out a well-known individual in the field who was renowned for dating much younger women. Chris hinted in his comments that there is a double standard in place, where certain people are held accountable for their deeds, while others are given a pass because of their standing and connections. He emphasized the age gap between Jay-Z and Beyoncé, pointing out that, contrary to public documents and previous interviews, their relationship started when Beyoncé may not have been of legal age. Chris went on to say that certain well-known men in the business, including Jay-Z, have a history of having relationships with younger women and have shared sexually transmitted diseases. These disclosures came at a turbulent time when Chris learned of Rihanna's purported adultery with Jay-Z. He says this increased tension in their already tense relationship and led to the finding of an STD. For years, rumors concerning Jay-Z and Rihanna's romance have been present in gossip magazines, but they are frequently written off as simple business partnerships. In his most recent remarks, Chris claims that a large portion of the public controversy and the allegations that have been going around about him and Rihanna are staged publicity stunts that have been controlled by people hoping to make money off of the media craze. He fiercely refutes the stories that have been created about his relationship with Rihanna and accuses Jay-Z of spreading lies to preserve his own reputation. The controversy and misunderstanding surrounding these high-profile relationships have been heightened by the endorsements of other industry individuals who have supported similar assertions without facing legal ramifications, thus complicating the continuing story. The public and fans are left to wonder what the real dynamics are behind these celebrity conflicts as the situation develops. What are your thoughts on Chris Brown's claims? Do they make sense, or is the narrative incomplete? We invite you to share your opinions and ideas in the space provided for comments below. We appreciate your participation and help. Subscribe Rumor Spill for more videos.